That's crazy.
That. Hey y'all, this is Ryan Monceaux, and this is the Cougar Afterthought Show. Cougars win by 20, but I don't know if anybody could be real happy with what you saw. Brad, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I'm real happy. I was just bored off my ass, but you know what? I'll take boring losses over boring wins over exciting losses. There were some things that were good, but you know, it was a little bit. Offense took a while to get going. I don't know if it ever did outside of LJ, but
accurate.
Some stuff to work on. They threw a different look at us defensively. It's at least something to go back and work on. But I thought defensively we were fantastic.
Okay, Galen.
I agree. I thought defensively we were good. Obviously, it's human nature to tend to. How do I say this? We're one of the top 25 teams in the nation. This is not an excuse, but we're playing Troy, and no disrespect to them, but it's just it's kind of hard for our guys to get up for that game. So sometimes your mindset might not be where it needs to be. And let's say we were playing Texas tonight. It would have been a different energy and a different pop with us. But as our guys, they played good defense. Obviously, offense was kind of what it was, but at least we handled our business on the defensive end.
In your senior year, how many times did y'all come out and not have it like this?
I mean, it was several times. I'll never forget. It was a team called Fairfield or something.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, even when we're playing Tulane, it's just the games like that, it doesn't really, I had our graduate assistant, he used to always tell me, I'm never worried. I'm always worried whenever we play teams at like Tulane or Fairfield. But it's whenever we're playing Cincinnati, he was like, I'm never worried about you. It's those are the games that our guys get up for. Not saying that that's the right approach, but it's human nature.
Yeah. New record for fewest points allowed in a half. It was 11 tonight.
That was crazy.
Breaking the record of 12 set by you in 2016 against UConn.
Damn.
So another Galen record gone.
That's good.
Yep.
Ascension.
Stats by Starnes. Troy had 12 field goals and 12 turnovers. Not great, Troy. That is not great at all.
Yeah. And another stat, I think we had, what was it, 17 assists, and I think it was 22 made field goals. So that just shows how we weren't really relying on just one guy just breaking down the defense and getting the bucket. It was just ball movement, whether that guy, it might have been the same guy who was the recipient, but, nonetheless, ball movement still.
Speaking of assists, Troy had 4, and they went most of the night with just 3, which I can't remember a team ever having that few assists in a game in this building. It's rough. But, what can you do? Brad Towns, this comment is for you. It's 2 emojis that say star pizza.
Yeah, I got a text that Jamie went tonight before the game. Asked me if the lasagna was good. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, it's good.
That is it's heavy. It's a lot. It's much better at dinner than at lunch, which I had it when I was with you, Galen. And
Hmm.
that rest of that day was not my favorite.
Well, and I give him credit for doing it before game because when I do it, I'm usually asleep about 30 minutes after because
There
it
you
is
go.
phenomenal.
You had the world famous all you can eat buffet today. You'll have it again Friday. Lunch specials all week. Thursday, the pastas and the wines. Go try it out.
Go try it
Nothing
out.
says
Do
Christmas.
yourself a fucking favor and go try it out. Jesus Christ.
Whoever
You know,
does the
That's
cooking,
some,
we're
that's
gonna
some
have
good
to
shit over there, man. That's some
we have
whoever
good
to
does
shit
the
work
over
cooking
there.
at
on.
home, give them a break. Take them out and treat them. You know, you got to treat yourself.
Yeah. Treat yourself. Ryan Monceaux, man. Talk to me, man. Tell me something good, man.
Uh, Kelvin Sampson threw down his clipboard 4 times in the game. Not happy with the effort of this team. He hasn't been happy for 2 weeks. Um, from a fan perspective, you win by 20. It wasn't thrilling. The energy in the building was dead. It's maybe the worst I've seen it at Fertitta. And if the players fed off the fans or the fans fed off the players? Who knows? But it just wasn't great. You have 8 days now until your next game, next Wednesday, against, and not Troy. I don't know who. Toledo, I think.
Hmm.
But yeah. Let's get this out of the way. Towns was right. TA is the guy.
Will be the guy.
You don't think he's the guy yet?
No.
I see improvement. And I'm not just talking about him going out and scoring and playing well, but I'm just seeing his body language. I'm seeing how he's interacting with everybody else. And I've been thinking about this for a couple of days and how to phrase it, because when we get into talking about leadership, there's all different kinds of leadership that goes on
Different types.
within an
Absolutely.
organization. There's usually your off the floor leaders, guys who are setting the tone, holding everybody accountable. They're if they need to read the riot act, then they will. Guys keeping everybody in line and keeping everybody on time and together. But then you get to like leadership on the court. There's usually one or two guys who are pulling the team together. They're kind of like your coach on the floor, if you will. They want to speed. You got to speed things up. He's the conductor. And it doesn't have to be the point guard. It's always nice to be the point guard. It doesn't have to be your top scorer, but it can be. It really can be anybody. But there's got to be somebody out there that can pull everybody together, calm people down when need be, or pick people up when need be. And I'm just seeing more and more of that. The little bitty small things that TA is doing, because he'll push the pace when you need to, and then he'll slow it down when you need to, and he's getting enough the to fill that void in leadership from Jamal Shed. A guy has to feel confident that, one, that he can do it, and two, that his teammates are going to respond and respect it. And so somebody's growing into that role, which is good to see. But I think in time, TA is going to be that guy that kind of pulls all of this together. I see a lot of really good moving parts right now. They're just not all on the same page. They're getting there on defense, though, and that's the most important thing.
That's an interesting point because I'll never forget just learning about leadership without Coach Simpson, how he used to, like, how he broke it down for me. And there's like a guy like I don't know if anybody remembers, but Wes Van Beck. He was a guy that, walk on, everybody respected him, and he led by example. So if Wes was to ever tell you something, it would be received well because he was one that was doing it. And then you had a guy who I learned a lot from. His name was Damian Dotson. And Dot, he wasn't the type of guy to, just get on your ass. He's like a guy that'll talk to you, and it's just like when you're in a position of leadership, it has to be who you are.
Right.
And I'll never forget with Coach Q. Coach Q is the type of guy like that's gonna get in your face and like rah 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 rah, and like that was how he was. That was his type of leadership when he played. And I was like, Q, that's not me. Like I'll get on somebody when they need it, but it's like I'm a picker upper type guy because everybody knows when they do something wrong, and you already got Coach Sampson breathing down your neck, reminding you. So what do I look like compiling onto that? Is like
you don't think people needed a second voice on telling you how shitty you are? You think Kelvin did enough?
His voice is probably two or three or four.
Oh, okay.
It's just like
just
that's
checking.
the only voice. Yeah, so it's just like it would be my job to kind of pick you up, bring you back to where we need you, and be like, hey, bro, you good? The next play, So it's just like leadership is also catered to your personality and how you are, rather than like how people think you should be.
I just want to say real quick that the comments tonight are fantastic. I think I've starred every one.
Yeah,
so the star system is not working.
Where are you starting?
Yeah, that is not working for us so far. I'm going to come back to that one. This is a very interesting point. Did y'all ever notice the Burger King on Cullen had a funky smell to it?
Never been in it.
Galen never went to the Burger King on Cullen because it was torn down. Well, no, it was torn down 20 years ago. 25 years ago, maybe.
What Burger King am I thinking of? The one that's about the Shipley's?
On Scott.
That's Scott.
You're thinking on Scott Street.
Tweaking.
I once got busy in a Burger King bathroom. Anybody know the song? Come on.
Oh, it's a song?
Come on.
Because I was going to say that I did not realize we had that in common.
Humpty Dance. Come on, y'all.
I didn't realize that was a lyric. Okay.
I don't know if I need
this got weird.
The fuck is going on?
Come on, Digital Underground, y'all. Come on.
Oh man. Hey, that was wicked.
So timing, man.
Wow.
So, shout out to Mike Collin for turning this into a very different kind of show. We just lost 112
I'm
viewers.
Always ready to go in the Wayback Machine.
Troy did well in the second half through a lot of defensive looks at Houston. They led Arkansas at the half. Houston still gelling. A win is a win. If you read Jamie's preview, he told you they're going to throw a lot of looks at you, and they did. And I think they didn't really do it in that first half, as you're saying. But they came out with a better game plan in that second half, and they won the second half 31-29 after you held them to 11 points.
Scott Cross, he was a coach at TCU. I got that right before Troy?
I don't know that one.
But he was the head coach at I think it was a Power 5 school, and I think they went to the tournament or something, if I'm not mistaken, and he got fired, and a lot of people were left puzzled about that. But, I've heard a lot of good things about him as a coach, so it's just it's no surprise that he has his guys, on one accord and kind of just playing hard. Before you can do anything, before your team can do anything, it's the most important that you can get them to play hard.
He was the head coach at UT Arlington.
Okay, I'm tripping. UTA.
He was fired following a 21-13 season. Most wins of any coach in that program's history.
That's strange.
But they never made the tournament.
They never made the tournament. Okay.
So, or actually, they did his second year. I'm sorry, his second year they made it.
Yeah,
and then
should have had one of the conference titles.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways, that's kind of weird, isn't it?
Yeah, but people make all kind of decisions. James Dickey was winning games.
To what?
Well, James
Okay.
Dickey won games. He just didn't win the right games.
Did he win the most ever in a year?
No, but
Mm.
I mean, he also played a JV schedule, so it doesn't really
I mean,
matter.
did we win 20 that last year?
He's a 19, 20, 21, somewhere in there.
I don't know. All I know is we had too much talent for what we didn't do.
Yeah, well, you lost, or you struggled with a lot of teams you shouldn't have struggled with. So they brought in another guy named Sampson, and things
Turned out well. I think it was a good
worked
decision
out.
for the old Cougs.
That last year you went 17 and 16, 8 and 10 in the American. So I was wrong.
Yeah. Ugh.
You were, yeah, you never won. You never had a 500 record in the American with James Dickey, and that was pretty much what pushed him out. Ever since we lost to Alabama, this team has lost its swagger, in my opinion. I think there's a lot of truth to that. You know, a lot of the air was let out of the balloon in Vegas.
Okay, I understand. I understand what you're talking about,
But they did go to overtime. They did.
but
Go
I don't
ahead.
think there was. I don't think there was a lot of. What I think it did is
Recentered them, guys.
I think
It
it. I think
recentered
it.
the.
I think it brought us right back down to earth because
Yeah.
I think the team had a certain amount of swagger that they didn't earn, and
Yeah.
they're going through that. They're going through that. Oh shit! Okay, we aren't who we thought we were, and I think what or at least what I'm seeing right now is I'm seeing kind of a rededication to what U of H basketball is, and it's
At its
defense
foundation.
first.
Mhm.
And we'll probably get into the more specifics, but it's going back to defense first and relearning how to apply the
It's like they played down to level
the defensive philosophy on top of gelling the new pieces, and new guys are going to be stepping up. It's like, okay, those first few games that we played, throw those out the window because that we won the couple early ones against the lesser opponents. We won those because we're just better trained and we've got better players.
Right.
Now it's okay. Let's get back to our regularly scheduled program. We are going to beat the hell out of people on defense and then learn to score off of that.
You know, I think that's I think that was probably intentional. You know, Coach Sampson knew he intentionally scheduled our games to be kind of front heavy at the beginning because he knew what we were losing. And he also was aware that like certain things had to be exposed. So like it wouldn't be him just saying things that he'd have some proof. So I just think that I think obviously I think that it helps us, but it's like yeah, it kind of brings us back down to earth. But it's going to help us moving forward. I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense, but like I guess I see the intent behind it based on what he said and what we talked about. So but personally, I think Milos, I think he's going to have to be the guy. Granted, LJ, he's made strides in his leadership, but I think for our team to kind of get to where we think they can go to, he has to be the head of the snake. And there was a lot of times in the games previous that I felt like he can create more. Like Jamal, he kind of set the plate for a lot of guys, and they just kind of just ate what he fed them, and you know they ate good. And I feel like Milos, I feel like he has that same ability just because he also has the size to do so. So I think for us to be who we think we can be, he has to be that type of guy.
I think there's a lot of truth to that, Galen. There you
I
go.
appreciate that, Ryan.
You should keep
appreciate
at
that.
this basketball
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
The small crowd tonight did not help the energy. Looked dead on TV. Did not look too crowded in the arena. It filled in some, but it was not a good crowd. The students were not there. It's finals, and they get a pass on that. But nope, wasn't a great crowd. Not a
Week
lot of
9 in
energy.
December. I don't expect it to be much better next week.
No, and it won't. You've
just-
got a game Wednesday and a game Saturday, and then
I mean, there might be a chance that next week it picks up because maybe people are going to be taking off from work. But if you
I
got
don't
guys,
think so.
if you got a lot of people finishing up here on today's the 10th.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of people wrapping up business and then trying, of course, trying to get to a 7:00, 6:00 game in Houston is brutal.
The Saturday game on the 21st, that's just going to be a struggle. And then you take 9 days off before conference play. So the team will get a few days off, and they'll come back. Usually it's Christmas night, and start working on that first conference game. Galen, I want to ask you something. I've been thinking about this for a few days. The ACC started their conference play a week ago. The Big Ten started theirs a week ago. Do you think it would benefit the conference to start conference play earlier and spread it out more and then sprinkle in non-conference games? Or do you think this truncated 70-day stretch is better?
I remember the Big Ten. This is what they use. That's what they usually do.
Well, now
And
they
I
have like
remember-
100 teams.
Yeah, but I remember asking Coach this. I was like, well, why do they do that and then have games that aren't conference games in between? And I forget what he said, but I remember like us agreeing that it wasn't like didn't really make sense because I feel like once you're in conference, you want to remain in that type of conference mode because all the games mean something. So it's just like I disagree with it. If you're going to start conference earlier, then start it earlier so you can play everybody, but I don't think you should have non-conference games after you like that's like local basketball. Do you have like non-district games after you have district games? Nah. So it's like what's the point of doing that at the collegiate level? But one thing I do want to say is like our guys deserve better. We have been consistently ranked in the top 25, and regardless of what time of the year it is, our guys deserve a sold-out crowd and people who are dying to see them play. If you turn on any Kansas game, it could be December 25th, Fog Allen is going to be filled the fuck out, regardless. And it's just like I just feel like with how hard our guys play and the amount of successes they've had, they deserve a lot more than what they're getting. And especially with everybody feeling like they have an opinion, and their opinion should be weighed when shit doesn't go the way that it should go. If you want to have an opinion, go put your ass in that seat.
Okay. There's 7,500 opinion seats right behind me.
We
Go
want to
get
hear
you
them in
one.
person. Yeah, just come yell. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll prefer that.
Scott says Los is not getting the bigs involved. This needs to get corrected before conference play. Brad, what do you think about that comment?
I think the bigs need to get their ass down on the post.
I think that's a big part of it. If you want to be involved, you've got to do your part. And the energy and the motor.
Now
from
I do
those
agree.
guys,
if you got a big man working to get position, feed him the ball. Don't let him work for nothing. Feed him the ball. But I'm not seeing that often. We're doing a better job of getting to the rim on the roll, just not as aggressive as you'd like to see. But that could be planned based on what the point guard's wanting to do. You know, I like to see us be able to get the mismatch and then abuse the hell on the lob. But you know, that's not going to happen every time. I just say that's usually, as a big man, that's my fault because I didn't take out the pick. Like, Jesus Christ, did you see Emmanuel get floored
Yeah,
on
screen.
that
Oh
pick.
man, them dreadlocks make sure look a lot more dramatic.
Now,
Dreads
at
everywhere.
first, I was like, "Oh, that had to be a moving screen," but then on the replay, I was like, "Oh no,
That was solid. Yeah.
that was a man setting the screen right there."
Mm,
He
But
got floored 3 times, I think, and I mean he took
crash.
a beating. You're right, crash. That's what he does. But man, Troy did their part on a lot of that.
what I'd like to see out of Lowe's is stop playing like he's asking for permission and just take
Over.
advantage. Just play. Just have fun and play. That's one thing they were talking about on the
That's part of
broadcast
the growth
tonight. Is that
process.
the guy was asking Samson, the commentary guy was asking Samson before the game, "Hey, you going to run a man-to-man offense or a zone offense?" He goes, "We're just going to play basketball. I'm not going to. We don't have any. We're just going to go out and play basketball." And I would like to see those guys really just kind of cut it loose. And Los doesn't feel. It's like he's waiting for approval. It's like if you can get to the rack and beat your guy, do it. If you can set somebody up, do it. Just we need the point guard to play on instinct and let it rip, because that's when he's going to be at his best. And it goes back to what I talk about all the time, going back into football. If you're thinking, you're slow. If you're thinking, you're getting beat. You got to play to your ability and just let your ability take over, because thinking is for practice, and you make those same repetitions over and over and over again. You come out and you play, and that's when you get to have fun and show off and just let it go. But if you're trying to think and, I wonder, should I do this? Should I do that? And then, you see, and you can see that happen all the time. It's because those half-ass little drives where all of our guards will look like they're about to get an edge, but then they stop and they pull back and they're like, "Oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do." And then pass it, and then pass it again.
And then all of a sudden, there's 2 seconds on the shot
and
clock.
then well, hurry up and get it to E-Man, because he's on the logo, so we can hit it before the buzzer.
I just feel like he has to get a lot more comfort, because I don't know if you guys remember, I think it was Jamal's junior year. They had played Wisconsin. Oh, I think that was his junior year.
Yeah,
and
start of his junior year.
Yeah,
That's
and he
what I remember.
made a mistake and then learned from it at the end. But that was his third year in the program. By the time he was a senior, he knew all the ins and outs. He knew everything. There was nothing you could ask him he didn't have an answer for. And it's just like, and he also followed a point guard that played in the NBA. So it was like you were able to go against that, and that guy was kind of able to shape your mentality in a sense. And it's just like Milos is coming in. Nobody has been able to nobody can really show him the ropes. He kind of has to figure it out on his own. So it's just like, you kind of got to be patient with him. Granted, we know he has the ability. That's why he's here. But it's just like, you just got to be patient, because there's a lot of things that he has to learn, that he has to develop comfort with, to be able to do night in and night out, and to be able to, I might not have the success that I want to have while being aggressive, but me being aggressive helps our team. So like there's certain hurdles that he has to get over. Obviously, it's capable, but it's just like it's going to be it's a growing process that he has to go through. And that next year, he'll probably be light years better. But it's just like, for right now, we got to just step by step, got to stick with him and trust that, our coaching staff, they're doing what they can to help him, and he's put in the work as well.
Galen, do a read right here for me.
Get you some fucking Star Pizza.
There you go.
I don't have my notebook, but yeah, get you some Star Pizza, man. It's some good shit for sure.
No notebook. You taking the night off?
Huh. We're traveling. I have to pack for weight, so yeah, I couldn't bring the
Pack
notebook.
For weight.
No.
Pack for weight. All right, we're gonna do it right now. Here we go. Y'all ready? Mercy has to play instant offense. Mercy turns the ball over and got beat on the dribble more than once. Like to see Mercy more when our offense stalls. Kelvin's not happy with where the starters are. So he's not ready to go experiment with the guy that's 10th, 11th on the bench. And I think you saw starters stay in again deep into this game because he's just not comfortable with them. And they need to
And
work.
you want them to develop a sense of rhythm when you know what's lying ahead of you. And it's just like, granted, Mercy is a great offensive talent, but there's one thing for sure is that you can't rely on offense every night. So you can't like there's Steph Curry, Luka, like, those guys have off nights on offense, but you can never have an off night with your effort. And it's just like that's just where he is right now. He's an offensive talent, which you can't really rely on night in and out because he's a freshman, and you don't know what you're going to get from him on defense. So let's say our offense is stalled, and we're playing shit at BYU at Iowa State. You're going to put in a freshman to it's. There's certain things you got to go through to get that nod. And granted, he'll get there, but it's just like it is everything is a process.
We've talked about this, but the number of freshmen that have played meaningful minutes here in the last half a dozen years is pretty low. Jarris, JoJo, I'm trying to think of the one before Jarris.
Babe.
Okay,
Sasser.
but now you're talking. Sasser was 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You said decade or half a decade?
yeah, 6 years or so. So once the program got going,
Caleb Mills.
Caleb Mills, yeah,
Red shirt, but yeah.
half a year red shirt, but yeah,
Tremont.
yeah. So I mean, you're going back. Well, I mean, Tremont has been in college for 30 years, but yeah. I liked how the PA recognized Kelvin Lewis in the lineups. Boom. Kelvin Lewis deserved that. Good for him. He was the CUSA tournament MVP in 2010. Led U of H to the tournament. And has played, I think, 12 or 13 years professionally. And this is his first year as an assistant at Troy. So pretty cool that he got to come here in a building he never played in. But I liked that they recognized that. And I will say
Gotta be
that
a cool feeling.
years ago, in the past, U of H would have screwed that up. This program did not, and that's commendable, because that's what should be expected. But sometimes you don't get what you expect here.
True. It's a different world than what it used to be.
Just to get Ryan, your camera is kind of glitchy tonight. I have no idea what's happening with that. It was that way the other night. I apologize.
Hey, we've got the audio fixed. So
Yeah, you can hear me.
Ryan
Look,
got the audio
one
sorted.
thing at a time.
No more burp fart microphone.
Y'all are asking a lot of me in this technology bullshit. It is just not my thing. I am looking for a reference. Here it is. I have 8 bosses, Bob. It's an Office Space movie reference because I know Roy has probably not seen it. This is one of the 6 movies that I have actually seen. And it's fantastic, and I'm a big fan of Office Space. Major Applewhite 1, Games 2.
Oh,
That
brother.
major comment has taken me back to a dark place. You said it, sir.
That was in reference to James Dickey winning a few games.
Yes. That was like an hour ago, but yeah.
You're on it. You're on it, Roy.
Thank you. I guess at the next CKS radio show, I should ask if they practice offense or just focus on the defense. Should be well received. And also ask if they started working on free throws since their percentage has improved.
Yes, please ask that. I want to see. I literally want to see Coach Sampson choke somebody.
He probably just misses
The
these things.
funny thing is about that is just like he's actually a great X's and O's guy.
Yeah.
Like that's the funny thing. But it's like shit when you play that hard. Fuck, it's man. What, yeah.
Yep. Galen, can you be taught how to finish at the rim? Sharp and Milos can get to the rim, but have a hard time finishing through contact.
Well, finishing through contact, contact comes in various forms that you can't anticipate. So it's not easy to any degree. So it's like, can you be taught it? You mean you can practice it? Yeah, just like you can practice 3-point shooting, but you can practice free throws, but you'll probably still miss those shots. So it's you have off days and you have on days, just like any other type of shots that you shoot. It's kind of like J1. That the hook that he shoots is usually money in the bank, but it's kind of been on the down. It's kind of been down this year. So, but it's just one of those things you just got to keep sharp. No Emmanuel. I don't know if that answered the question. I feel like
I think,
I
and I
think you
think
answered the question.
I think just with more practice of them getting to the, them getting to the rim, it's not an every shot or more scenario. They're not used to driving. They're used to shooting.
the funny thing is, I feel like Emmanuel has developed into a very good like rim attacker because of the threat of his shot, and he's able to absorb contact and get to the line. But it's like by no means are the shots that he's shooting are they easy.
No,
Like, man, may he make them? I mean, shit. Steph Curry makes shooting look easy, but none of us can shoot like that. So it's like he might make it look easier than what it is, but it's still very much very difficult.
I think that Emmanuel last year, towards the end of the season, got really good going to the rim. Do you think he's still at that level or better or regressed?
Well, you got to take that into context. You have a
Yeah.
consensus All-American who's running the show, setting the
Right.
table. So it's just like everybody's looks are going to be easier when the intention is elsewhere. Now, even like last year, the top of the scouting report, everybody was scared shitless of Jamal Shedd. Now, the top of the scouting report is Emmanuel Sharp, LJ Cryer. So it's a little bit of a different look when the team is going through a week of practice and the coaches are like, this guy, you're scared shitless of him. So it's just like there are certain things you're gonna make them earn more. Whereas like if you're not that guy that's at the top of the scouting report, it might be a little easier for you.
when you
And I
think
feel like that's what people you think that, oh, he improved last year, so he must be better. It's like, nah, it's some guys left last year too. So it's just like it's going to be a little more challenging.
and with in last year to defend us, you had to focus on Chet, and to do that, you're dropping wings for help. So that's why LJ and Eman had so many wide open shots.
Man.
But now with that threat gone from the point guard, they're getting pressure way out on the wings, which is why I want Milos to really quit asking for permission and just go, is because he's got room. He's got room. And the more he penetrates, the more he's going to open those wings and get his guys free. But for them to be able to, with guys guarding you way out past the perimeter and really getting into you outside, normally you could beat a guy one-on-one that's going to be, arm length and a half off of you if you've got a quick first step. But the more that they're able to get up into you, you can't get distance off that first step. So it's hard to get by them. So that does cut off their opportunities to be able to penetrate there.
CKS said Milos, has been playing like he is renting the position, and he needs to play like he owns it. And that's just a better way of what Brad has been saying.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I remember Coach Sampson. He told me that we had that conversation my sophomore year. Excuse my language. He was just like, Galen, you gotta walk in. You gotta just command the building. He was like, I don't ask for permission. I walk in like I run this bitch. And I was just like, yeah, coach, you definitely walking like you do run this bitch, but but it's just like, the message is like it's just a mentality, and it's just like
Yeah.
the thing about it is everybody on the team. Just because I struggled with this as well, everybody on the team has already kind of given Milo's a position to take command of whatever he wants to take command of. He just has to feel like it's okay to do so. And
Right.
once those two things collide, then that's when, as a team, that's when we're going to take our next step.
Mm-hmm.
Galen is 100% right. Los has 3 months to learn what Jamal has learned in 3 years. That's fair.
And from his perspective, I don't know this. I don't know the man at all. But I think a lot of people might walk into a scenario like this. You're walking into a veteran team who's played together. Its core
Super
components
veteran team.
have been together for years, and it's a place that is steeped in culture and tradition. And so walking into that, you better be either a big time alpha. I had to censor myself, but you have to be a big time alpha to walk in the door and assert your position and take over immediately, or you have to learn how to get into it because it's freaking intimidating. Because you walk in and these guys already know what each other are going to do.
Exactly.
And you, as the new guy, you're expected to contribute. You know who you're replacing and what you're replacing. You believe in yourself that you can do that, but still you just don't know what they know. And so it's like, okay, hold on. Do I do this? Where do you want the ball? Do you like it off the bounce? Do you like it? Do you like it on the right side? Do you like it right here in your face?
Yeah.
All the little bitty small things. But whenever he starts to believe that he understands everything and he truly fits in and he gets out of his own head, he's going to be phenomenal because you see it every now and then where he'll go through like a 2 or 3 minute spurt where it's like, okay, that's the kid right there. There he is.
Yeah.
Then he goes back to, being a little bit more tentative.
Yeah. But it's like, to piggyback off that, it's like the leader of this team, the emotional leader is probably J1. He's a kid that's been in this program for 6 years. He's seen everything. Then you got a kid to your left. LJ is his, 5th year in college. He was on a team that won a national championship. Like, those are the guys who are your leadership mates. And it's just like that. It's very big shoes to fill when you're the new guy on the block and those are your coworkers.
And those are guys you were watching in high school.
Damn near.
I mean, with J1 and LJ, it's like that kid was a sophomore watching these guys in college.
And not even mentioning Jamal. Like, it's just, who knows if he's seen him on but it's just like, these are the shoes that you're filling, and these are your coworkers. And you got a guy like E-Man who he's a freshman, he scored 30 points in the game. It's just like, these are the guys that you have to come to work with every day. And it's just like, you can recognize the hierarchy and, these guys have kind of done some things that I haven't done,
Mm-hmm. I mean, I speak, going back to when I got to U of H, we were in baseball, the guys that were here the year before me, I'd watched U of H as a senior in high school and as a freshman in JUCO, so I knew who was on the team. But then they recruited guys that I was playing against every day in junior college, and guys who I thought those guys are freaking awesome. Those guys are badass. And so when I got there the first day, it was like, okay, yeah, these are guys I was kind of fanboying over or admiring as opponents or competitors. And now we're part of the same team. Shit, I'm going to have to step my game up every single freaking day.
That's fair. I have a whole bunch of questions to run through with y'all. If we can do kind of quicker answers.
Quick fire?
No, not quick fire, but just not 4 minutes. Galen, does defensive intensity affect your offensive output? How tired were you on the offense after a lockdown defensive possession?
Good question.
Did you get
So
energy from it?
yeah, it gives you energy, but it's like at the same time, just imagine chasing Steph Curry around an entire basketball court for 24 seconds and you're sprinting, you're getting around screens, you're trying not to let him get a shot off. And then you have to and then you got to play offense after that. So it's just like does it does it give you energy that you got to stop? Yeah, but it kind of affects it affects your wind. When
Okay.
you play that hard on defense, like it's people think that there's no correlation, and it's just like, bro, that it's harder to play defense than it is to play offense.
Fair.
What is that?
Star
Is that,
Pizza.
is that a noise?
It's
Shout
on
out
the
Mac.
it's on the floor. They're taking all the
Okay,
chairs out.
I didn't know if that or if there was like some kind of I don't know, some kind of demon sneaking up, dragging like a giant
A sledgehammer.
a giant sickle.
Ah!
Graduations begin soon, so they're prepping for that. Star Pizza.
Hold on. Let's see. Can you get this?
What the?
Yeah, that's my lasagna. Jamie
What the fuck?
asked me about the lasagna, and I've been good, so I started salivating thinking about it, so I had to order it.
Wow.
And so
Shout out Star
Wow,
Pizza, man.
indeed.
I'll have to put a couple of more laps on my exercise tomorrow.
Yeah, we need film of that. We do an
No, you
exercise.
don't.
We need a GoPro.
Have you ever seen Godzilla? Have you ever seen that?
No.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Me walking.
After a low.
The low-scoring game can offensive woes be solved by watching film? I mean, obviously, film helps, but nothing helps more than practice. But I feel like it depends on what the objective that you wanted to accomplish for that game was. Let's say it was more so like the team practiced straight defense. Well, at least I'm talking about our team. Let's say our team practiced straight defense for the past however long, then that's going to be what they're showing in a strong way rather than what they have in practice. But obviously, yeah, watching film it helps everything. But in college, there's such a limited amount of possessions, and if you're able to get stops at a high level, a lot of times your offense can inspire your defense. And on the contrary, when the team can't score, it affects their defense. So it's just like you want to master the defensive end as your foundation of your team before you're able to, build upon that.
Okay. Worst night. Dropped my phone under my car seat on the drive home and missed most of the show.
Damn, Jamie.
Jamie,
That's terrible.
you can exit and go into a stop and go parking lot, a Valero.
Well, shit,
What I do.
Jamie had that lasagna, bro. He probably had to get home.
Yeah, but it's worth stopping.
Well, if you stop, you might fall.
And-
it is worth stopping.
You can also go to YouTube and watch it, Jamie. Make sure to not skip any ads. Watch them all. And
How would he watch YouTube without a phone?
he
Good
can do it at
question.
home.
Oh,
He can do it after the fact.
But he's talking through Facebook.
Yeah, he always does that. It's pretty weird. Let's see how many
And
people
he's
are
under
watching.
60.
Yeah, there are 3 people watching us on Facebook. So my mother, Jamie, and someone else. So thank y'all. Appreciate
shout out
that.
Mama Monceaux, man. Shout out.
Yeah,
her.
we had a long day today. I got up at 2:45, 3 o'clock this morning. Came to U of H to meet Slade Nagel.
At
Saw Connor
2:45?
Wegman. No, they didn't get there till like 3:15. But worked, we had stuff to do, and then worked, came here, went to Tomball to get my mother, took her to the Woodlands to the doctor, back to Tomball, and then drove back here in rush hour, and then this game, and then hanging out with you fellas. So been a long day, and we're gonna keep plugging away. Has there been a Connor Wegman appearance around campus? Yes. I saw him today when I came up around 11 o'clock. And obviously, I did not speak to him. You can't speak to recruits on campus. I don't know if that is the same with transfer portal guys, but I don't do it because, I'm going to screw something up somewhere. Don't need to screw up the easy
Who
stuff.
the fuck is Connor Wegman?
He is a 5-star quarterback, was the number 2 quarterback in
Say
high
less.
school. In high school. I don't believe that affects the player you are in the transfer portal.
3 years ago.
Yeah,
Shit,
2022.
He earned that 5-star. Shit.
But we'll see. The needs of this football team go way beyond a quarterback, and frankly, no, I'm telling you, it goes way beyond. You need at least 3 offensive linemen.
Yeah, 3 good to solid. 1
Yeah.
good, 2 solid. I'll take that. Give me a
That's
good
fair.
left tackle, and we good to go.
No, that's a
Because I mean,
an
nobody
easy wish list.
nobody needs a shutdown left tackle, do they?
No. No. For an old team, I expected more leadership, but experienced players still need a great point guard. I don't know that the leadership is the problem. These guys haven't figured out how to play with each other.
Yeah.
And
it's
you're putting pieces together from different puzzles and expecting them to fit. And they haven't figured that out. And I'm going to tell you, Kelvin Sampson is banging his head against the wall trying to figure out how to make this work. But it doesn't have to work December 10th. It has to start working December 30th.
Shit.
And so they've got these 20
Ryan,
days.
can I give an analogy?
Sure.
It's like when the Spurs were the Spurs, and let's say Tony Parker missed the year. How would that affect Tim Duncan and Manu Ginobili, if you had to guess?
A lot.
Okay,
Okay.
we're going to leave it at that. That's the end of the analogy.
Okay. Well, I don't understand the NBA, and I just thought this was going to drag on forever.
It's just you remove Jamal Shead. Granted, we have veteran guys, but veteran guys, they're adapted. They're accustomed to their role.
Well,
Let alone when you got guys who've been in college half a decade and 6 years, so it's like you're kind of used to your role and shit like that. So
and I think we as fans, I need to chill the fuck out for a minute or two,
I
because
agree.
you know what, as much as those teams, those players are learning how to deal with who's going to step up, who's going to do what. Us fans haven't had to go through this transition for a while. It was pretty much, it was Jamal's team the last 2 years. Before that, you had
Deep.
yeah, you had
Dejan.
Dejan, and then you had drawing a blank. Fabian. I mean, you had experienced guys who were, there wasn't a leadership vacuum. These were guys who were ready to go.
Been there.
And while I do think that there are leaders on this team, I don't think any of them have stepped up because they've never needed to. I mean, this team had locked in head guy for so long. You had a lot of guys who just riding in the backpack doing their jobs. But now they got to figure out who's going to do it. Every one of them have leadership capabilities. But now they just got to put it together on top of learning how to play together, and putting all the new pieces together. And doing it also with the toughest schedule we've played in toughest early schedule we've played in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the last time we had 2 really top tier games was back when we played at Virginia a few years ago.
Yeah,
We're at Virginia, and I think we played Alabama on the road.
Alabama or
At the
Oregon,
crib.
one of them.
Alabama's at the crib, huh?
You played at Alabama. The
The first one
season's
where
kind of
where kind of Jamal became the
Yeah.
everybody
Hero.
recognized who he was
Mm-hmm.
because he picked up trash.
trash man.
Mm-hmm. Servant leadership.
That's not 5-star work ethic, Jamie.
Huh.
Toughest team wins. Toughest
Exactly.
team wins.
You got to get up. You got to get on the ground. Get dirty.
Oh God, here we go. Galen Robinson, you were a true point guard, and I enjoyed watching you. And this team needs a point guard like you.
Appreciate that, man. But they probably got somebody who's has a higher
Way
ceiling
better.
than me. Yeah.
Check him
yeah.
out live on
Yeah.
Birmingham
Nah,
Squadrons.com.
But it's just also, I feel like Coach Sampson, I feel like his point guards are usually they maximize their effectiveness and how much they benefit the program if they're 4-year guys, because that's a guy that you got to be around him for a long time to be around him for a long time and know what he wants done and know how he wants certain things orchestrated. So, yeah, but like every point guard that he's had after me, Deke, he was there his redshirt sophomore year. Jamal was a 4-year guy. It's just like the longer you're there with him, the more success you're going to have, and the more you're able to lead the way he needs you to lead.
I'm trying to think of a freshman point guard from any of his teams, going back to Indiana, Oklahoma, that came in and dominated or played at a level that you need to make this thing work. And I can't think of one.
I'm talking
And
about
this is a
Houston Kelvin Sampson. I don't know about that was shit.
Yeah, but I
when
mean,
was born.
it hasn't happened. But it's a learning curve for all of us. This is a
Super
pretty
learning
good.
curve. I don't think people understand the demand, the pressure, the amount of responsibility that you have. And usually, let's say there's a guy in front of you, you're able to learn from the mistakes that he makes because he's getting all the reps. So you might not make the same mistakes he makes when you get your opportunity, but it's just like it's such a demanding position, and it's you have to be mentally tough to do that. And it's just like for Milo's, nobody's really able to show him the ropes, so it's gonna be even tougher for him. And it's just like kind of like with me, it was like when I came in my freshman year, there was nobody to show me, but I was a freshman. This is his 3rd year, so it's just like I had ample time to figure certain things out, and he doesn't really have that same luxury. So it's just like, and he's kind of, you walk into a situation where the team that you're a part of now, they're a national title contending team, so you don't get that same level of grace. So it's just like it's going to be that much more harder for you.
I agree with that. Mostly. Galen, what do you think about going small more often to speed things up? Mercy, Emmanuel, and T can rebound well enough to make it work. LJ, Mercy, Eman, Terrence, Juan, Jay, or JoJo?
I feel like there'll be a time and place to do that, just based on matchups. But the game will dictate what you need to do, and it's my coach here. He's a good coach as well, and he was like he has this saying, like the toughest team sets the rules, and basically like the toughest team dictates how the game is going to go. So like if we're able to be night in and night out the tougher team, then we might be able to dictate whatever lineups that are in, because that teams are going to be chasing us instead of us chasing them.
Toughest team sets the rules.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That's pretty good.
TJ saying.
Jamie, I think you'll probably see that 4-guard lineup, that 4-guard rotation. But
you'll definitely see it.
Well, but I think that Ramon will be one of that group, just because he gives you kind of a hedge on defense. And then I really
Ramon
think
a lot.
I really think that Terrence can be an absolute nightmare matchup in the 4 spot
Man,
because you
six
put a
six. They got to guard him.
you
He
can't you
has
put
a
a big
green
guy on
light.
him. He's going to pull you
Man,
out in deep water and then take you to the rack.
man, and he can shoot it. Like,
Yeah,
and I'll just never, man. They have given Terrence the ultimate green light to whatever offense he can generate. Don't pass it, shoot it. And it's just like you might not see. Well, we've seen glimpses of it now, but it's like whenever it's nut cutting time on the road in a big time conference game, it's a top 25 matchup. That's when it'll show. All those days of them reminding him how much confidence they have in him and how much they believe in him. That's when it'll come out.
Not to derail this conversation, but I'm looking at the
Oh,
box
shoot.
score. No, this is basketball. 9 players from Troy had 0 or 1 field goal. That's not great.
Very great.
That is not great. Galen, fill your wine cup. You're in a hotel room drinking out of a little paper cup. That's pitiful. But
I'm
good
pitiful.
luck. Yeah. No, you're the best. Ryan, impressions with Slade.
that's not a new car.
So Slade Nagel.
But see, I see. I can't, his picture fits perfect with that question.
What are we talking about? I have completely lost what's happening here. My light went out too. That's nice.
Was that your light?
Yeah, it went out. Battery's
I
not.
was going to say, am I having another stroke?
Maybe.
Oh no.
Maybe. Slade Nagel, new offensive coordinator, met with him today. Spent a good amount of time with him. I think there's a confidence there. There's also a guy that knows that wholesale changes are needed. And while he wouldn't come out and say, we're replacing that guy, he kind of told us we're replacing these guys. He said we need to restructure the offensive line. They are in the portal looking for a quarterback. We knew that.
Politics of sports. Beautiful.
Well, it's hard to say because you don't have the transfer portal guys in, committed and signed, so you can't say that's who we want, that's what we're going with. It's difficult at this point. Connor Wegman is their number one choice. There are other guys that they're talking with and have offered. And
Contingent.
if Wegman signs, then those other dominoes are going to fall into place. Whether guys from the current roster then move on, if other guys are willing to come in, you'll just have to see. I think if you sign somebody like Wegman, who you expect to be your starter in the spring, you're probably not getting another guy out of the portal. You've got a young guy in McMickle who'll be a freshman. You've got Austin Carlisle who'll be a freshman. You've got Zion Chris. There's a lot of options there.
And you open
But I
it
thought-
up for a real interesting competition come spring.
Real competition, which you have not always seen here at the quarterback spot. I'm looking forward to it.
One
Slade-
thing I've granted, I'm not that hip with football, but I got a lot of teammates who love Houston for reasons that I can't disclose. You're getting people to come to Houston to play in a Power 5 conference. That's a bargaining chip that we've never had before. But it's like to play in the Big 12
Conference, son.
But
I came in the Southwest Conference.
But okay, towns. You worried about a stroke? I'm talking about. It's just like, hey, man, there's Big 12. You're in the city of Houston, and everything it has to offer. Does it really take all that much convincing? I mean, shit.
Yes. I mean, there are good places to go play. It's, the guys that you're looking, if you're upgrading talent, those guys are going to have options. And, it just, I think you have a lot to sell, but a lot of other places have a lot to sell too.
You don't always need talent, though, Ryan.
Okay.
Just throwing that out there.
Explain.
It went from me to Kingston Flemings.
That's true.
There's a major talent gap there.
Yeah.
You gotta, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. That's a huge gap.
There you go. Slade Nagel is from Lake Charles, went to Barb High School, went to Clemson. Coach got fired halfway through his freshman year. Tommy West, who then went to Memphis and was a pain in the ass for U of H for years.
Yes, he was.
And Dabo Sweeney gets the job at Clemson. Didn't work out with Dabo, so he went to McNeese, where his dad coached Johnny Nagel. And something I found out today, Slade and I, we delayed the press conference because we were talking about beautiful Iowa, Louisiana, where I'm from. And Slade's mother has moved to Iowa, this little tiny town, and lives a block from where I grew up, like spent the first part of my life. And the woman lives right there. And Slade used as a reference point, Brad will know this, Rabidou's, the smokehouse, the Cajun kitchen that I grew up with, and it's where you get boudin and you get pork chops and your venison taken care of. And so we're now best friends, me and Slade Nagel. So he'll probably start doing a podcast with us very soon, every week. Are you getting Nagel on to talk sometime soon? Yes. We'll figure out how that works with recruiting, with transfer portal, with holidays, but I expect it very soon. You want to wait until after they have a quarterback and after they have some offensive linemen so that he has something more to talk about. He said he's getting into the film of last year, so, let's see him do some work, and then we're definitely gonna get him on one of our shows.
I'm just glad that I think that one of the biggest things that's going to pay off is he's been with Willie so long. He doesn't really need to be told. He doesn't need to learn what he wants. He already knows it.
Yeah.
So they're both on the same page. They're of the same mind, which I gathered from last year that might have been maybe a little bit of a sticking point, is that Willie and Barbe weren't on the same page.
They didn't speak the same language.
Right.
Yeah. And now all of your offensive staff were together at Tulane. So there is a continuity there. You have to build that back a little bit. But, yeah, you'll get that. Milos Uzan, top 5 name in the Sampson era. Starnes, you're losing it, buddy. I guess, but all right.
Shout out Stars, man. What's good with you?
What's up,
Big
Starnes?
Stars.
Yeah. Did LJ finish 6 of 7 from 3? Is that what his number was? Yep, 6 of 7. Yep. That's adequate.
Let's get it done.
Pipes says it's that. Anyone remember the 21-22 point guard? What happened? Woes. Yes. We were all here.
Yes.
You can't expect somebody to come into this system and have it dominated already. Even though he's been here since June and been working with these guys, there's a reason that Kelvin says that the best player, the coach, and the point guard all can't have a bad day. And a lot of those teams, the point guard is the best player, but you're getting to a point where there's so much talent that it's not going to be that way.
What was like the point of that question though? Like,
Just the transition.
I think
of
he's saying
figuring
that,
out-
that
Figuring
you
out
have
who's
to
gonna
be
be the guy.
patient. Yeah.
oh,
And I think these are the types of seasons of what keeps, although it might be frustrating for Kelvin, I think these are his most challenging and most interesting for him, where the
it
pieces
forces him
don't,
to, yeah,
because he
yeah.
really does have to work. And this is what he's best at, of being able to figure out a problem and then piece it all together. It's almost like when he gets pissed off at people, he's actually getting pissed off at people, as opposed to shit's running so smooth he just has to randomly get mad just to keep everybody on their toes.
Shit. It's kind of funny you say that because I just remember when Marcus and Tremont Mark got hurt, and obviously Tajay went from not knowing if he was gonna Tajay Moore. He went from not knowing like this game am I gonna play to I'm gonna play and I'm not worried about being subbed out. And I'll never forget when they told me that I mean I watched the game as well, but they were like Tulane's game plan was to make Tajay beat them. And obviously he wasn't worried about getting subbed out. He had the ultimate green light. So he's like they won convincingly. And it went from Tulane depending on that guy to beat them to Tajay evolving into damn near a go-to guy for us for a bucket. And it's just like, talk about Coach Sampson. That is just crazy. A guy not knowing that if he's going to play and evolving into a go-to guy. How crazy is that?
Crazy.
And I don't think you know how crazy that is. Not knowing if he's going to play to a go-to guy.
Yep.
That is unprecedented. In the same year.
Towns played at U of H in the Missouri Valley Conference. U of H left the Missouri Valley Conference in 1960, I believe. Good job, Towns.
Now, I was here for the dying embers of the Southwest Conference.
Yes,
I
you
did
killed
get
it.
I was proof that it needed to die. I didn't kill it, but I was proof that it needed to die.
Yeah. Bragg Stockton is calling in the left-hander right now.
He could call in anybody, whoever could help.
We don't have the NIL, Galen.
We constantly hear that, but then all of a sudden we just kind of
Signed
come
the
up with
number
money.
2 recruiting class in the country. I mean, the money is there somehow.
I mean, I know we on the surface we look at it and we say, well, we don't have the money. Guess what? We're in a big ass city. Somehow, some way we find it when we need it. And the good thing is that
living in Houston, shit,
you got a lot of targets, but
it's a lot of talent here.
nobody thought basketball was 4 years ago. We were on the precipice of being what we are today, but we're sitting there hanging out with the elites, and then NIL comes, and then a lot of people thought, oh my God, this is just the worst time. We're never going to be able to have the NIL to compete. Guess what, motherfuckers? It's amazing what happens with success, and with the more success you get, the more people want to give you money. They don't want to give you money when you're shit.
Facts.
So, what happens in football? It's probably going to be tough. It's probably going to be tough to get a lot of NIL money. But it's coming.
That's why
It's
you can't
improving.
go after the talented guys. You got to go after the workhorses, the guys who that's who you got to build on.
And that's actually they're doing this right now with a strategy. They're offering a lot of guys from the FCS that they think they can bring in and develop. Guys who have talent, who have natural ability that may be overlooked. And frankly, the NIL needs will not be as great up front. Might be the right way to go about it.
Well, you better be able to choose correctly.
Correct.
That's a good premise.
It's a strategy.
It's a good strategy.
Will it pay off?
But you have to be able to identify talent. Now, if you can identify talent that's going to translate to this level, then you're sitting on top of a major gold mine, because you're going to be elite in evaluating even better talent, to picking the little pieces off the big talent. But I mean,
I don't think that's the hard part. Evaluating the 5-star guys. Shit, everybody,
right?
Yeah,
well,
so, yeah.
the X factor on the 5-star guys, if you're identifying the 3 or 4-star, or the low 3-star or the 1-star coming from FCS, what you're doing is you're identifying character. You're identifying want to.
Mm-hmm.
You're identifying those soft things that the off the page stuff that Kellen and Kelvin can readily recognize. Is that if you recognize it in the lower guys, like, I mean, there's a common thread between you, Deaky, and Jamal. You all have the same mentality. You all have the same competitiveness. The thing that differs is your physical abilities and your technical skills, but inside you all share the exact same kind of makeup. And that translates. If football can do that, then you're going to be able to scale that up and keep getting bigger and better, so that when you do start landing the 3, the 4 and 5 stars consistently, you're landing the ones that have the right mentality. And, that's what stands out every year. The last 2 years that we've talked to Kellen, and talking about recruiting, is that, he said, basically, we don't recruit, we evaluate.
Yeah.
And then guys come to us.
Interesting point. So it's just like, I feel like if you can identify certain characteristics in a 1, 2, 3-star guy, then you know what a 5-star is lacking. If that makes sense, I feel like it helps you. I feel like it helps you get familiar to what you should stay away from, regardless if this guy's, even if this guy's a 5-star. Like, he doesn't have the characteristics that we're looking for, So like,
exactly.
That makes a lot of sense for sure.
Because really the only thing that changes when you move up scale, whenever you go up kind of the rankings, the only thing changes is the out and out physical ability and usually the size.
Yeah.
Instead of, guys that are going to come in as maybe a low 3-star are going to be, 5'10", 6'1", maybe. You start getting up to, the 4 and 5-star. You're talking about 6'2" to 6'5" point guards.
And
you're talking about
jump out the gym. Yeah.
You're going to see things out of, 6'7" J1 coming out of high school, but NBA, you're going to see the same internal as CNAC.
NBA level athletic. That's probably the differentiating factor.
I would argue the football staff did an excellent job evaluating talent even this past season. Michael Batten, anyone? I would also say that Devin Williams and Mekhi Muse, Marquise Shoulders before he got hurt, just in the receiving core. You had other
Michael
guys.
Batten will go down as one of our favorite stories.
1 year wonder. There is a very
that the
short
kid that went
list.
To several different schools.
Yes, he is now actually he's transferred 3 times since we started this conversation. But I like the guy. I told y'all I told Towns and Martin that I did not like him when I met him. I thought he was arrogant. But as I got to know him, and we've talked quite a few times, and legit dude, and I just didn't understand at first. But
well, I mean,
really,
you look at a guy like that on paper, he had no business being here. And then, I looked at it when I first saw him sign. I was like, okay. You look over, it's like this resume does not say contributor at this level, much less being one of your best defensive players, being all honorable mention, all Big 12. The dude just literally came out of nowhere. And the thing that I love about him so much is that he is what U of H's, I guess, history is. He's a guy who came
The
here.
personification
Yeah,
of U of H.
He is. He's a guy that came, was written off, and all he wanted was an opportunity. He got the opportunity, took advantage of it, and just blew up. And that's all you can ever ask for.
He went to college to play quarterback, and it didn't work out, and then it didn't work out, and then junior college, and then decided if I'm going to play at the D1 level, I have to switch positions. And they put him at linebacker. And it took a couple years at Louisiana Monroe for it to click. And then he came here and got the coaching he needed and became one of our favorites, was great with us.
That's great, man. That's cool.
Yeah. Did you hear that Tillman has apparently been nominated to be the ambassador to Italy?
Golami.
Yes, we heard. They're going to put Bubba Gump all over Italy. It's going to be very nice. Maybe some Joes. Congrats. I mean, that's a cool thing.
Going to open up all kinds of casinos and
monetize Italy.
Yeah. So yeah, it came through tonight, and that's the chairman of the board, the Rockets owner. He wants to buy the Saints, is what came out today.
It's going to buy me.
What?
Thinking the Saint, the Saints?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's perfect for his casino needs.
Well, it's casino, and it's the Superdome is trash. It's 60 years old, and they need a new facility. You can't just keep rehabbing that. And I mean, it's like a Joe's Crab Shack. So that's my team since childhood, but we'll see. Connor says going to Lake Charles in a few weeks is Iowa worth the trip to sightsee. Obviously, you've got the red light,
at least on the way back.
Yeah, it's not on the way back, but you've got a red light. You have a Carl's Jr. in a truck stop, and then you have my childhood home.
There's only one thing you need there, and that's
Rabidoos.
Definitely not Ryan's childhood home.
Oh.
Couldn't agree more.
I would have put that in the top 3, myself personally. But
Sure.
you do what
There's
you
an
need
exit
to do.
ramp.
There's a big exit ramp, and
it's almost like a sort of clover leaf,
a
shredded clover leaf.
Mario sent photos, and I'm just kind of
cool.
looking through them. That's pretty fun. This kid, number 1, Mario has about 30 photos of this kid with the absolute look of oh shit on his face. He did not respond well to his photo being taken tonight. Poor kid. This had to be quite the baptism.
Ryan, show the one of the coaching staff.
From tonight?
Yeah.
I don't know that I saw it. Everybody with their heads dejected, or
With Kelvin's, yes. With the look. Galen's he's gonna recognize this one.
well, you're gonna see it from Kelvin and Kellen on the one that I chose. I don't know if this is what you wanted, Brad, but this is what you're getting.
Yep.
Son, if I was walking in a dark alley,
brother,
I'd want you walking towards me. Son, he's the type of guy that gets coaches fired.
See, this is the beautiful thing about having Galen on here. Is he can tell us exactly what's being said.
Oh man.
This one is from Hofstra a couple weeks ago.
Oh my goodness. That is what JoJo had to do something.
Yeah, that's my favorite
Boy,
photo.
It was either JoJo or Malik. Look at Coach Q.
That's a Malik look, is what that is. Q does not get all mad about JoJo. I have been waiting for the right moment to use that photo in a story, and I haven't quite gotten it.
Yeah, I don't know if, man.
They're probably not where we want to go.
Palm in hand. That is crazy.
But definitely go to Iowa. You got to, take all the photos and enjoy. Beautiful city. I am like the third most famous person that ever came from Iowa, which tells you quite a bit.
Probably a place you shouldn't go.
Probably not. Batten sort of reminds me of Landon Roberts as a nobody linebacker who became central for RD. Brad, that's his guy. I kind of think that's probably accurate. Why haven't they demolished your childhood home, Ryan? That's not nice. Starnes.
I think it got fumigated by a couple of hurricanes.
It has had some issues, but this Muppet-looking motherfucker shouldn't be talking any trash about me. Just a few more comments, and we're going to kind of move on. Galen looks tired. Time to end it, boys. We're going all night. They're almost done with the floor, tearing that down. So we're just going to stay until they... oh, I got dark. My legacy will always remain. Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Galen, final thoughts on what you saw tonight.
I felt like it was a defensive-minded effort. So that's what we should focus on. But, hey, man, on to the next one. It's that time of year. And given, how the few games that we lost and what we didn't do, I feel like our mindset is where it needs to be. So on to the next one.
Bradley?
Ugly offense, but wonderful defense. And that's really, at this point, I'm only concerned about defense because that's getting back to our roots. But through all this conversation, I didn't even get a chance to talk about it, so I'm going to do it right now. Good game and a nice resurgence, if you will, for J1. Didn't put up huge numbers in any particular spot, had 9 rebounds, but he did significantly better moving on the floor and getting back in defending the double team and then getting back to cover the post. Did it a lot more aggressive. That's the guy that we're used to seeing. So I think guys are starting to feel it on defense. And once we start to feel it on defense, then look out, because that's the team that we are. And I'm looking forward to seeing that. And as frustrating as the early season has been, remember, this is why we go on the ride, because we watch this team develop from November, hopefully to the final Monday.
Yeah, it's just hard to see how you can be a fan of this team and not expect there to be growth. And from where you are, which is middle of December, still have 15 weeks in the season, there's going to be some growth. There's going to be some growth. Can y'all tell me, I have a question. I did not see it. Somebody came and talked to me. What was the double tech situation? What happened there?
I didn't see it.
Me either.
Okay.
When did that happen?
It was midway through the second, I think. It was JoJo and a guy from Troy.
Oh, I told you the offense was giving me gas, so I had to go to the bathroom.
You can't really see the defender that is slapping the shit out of Terrence here, but there is a hand.
Slap!
And these are Mario Puente photos. Fantastic, big fan. Love everything he does. I'm looking. Oh, here we go. This kid, there he is getting run by once again. Poor number 1.
Damn, man, he's got them old school. I mean, that looks like the Adidas that I had in high school.
No, not
Low
quite,
tops,
Tons.
man.
Not quite, not quite, brother.
Similar.
Not quite.
Similar look.
Similar. So, anyways, you get an 8-day break, and I don't know if this team needs it. I think they had tired legs because they have gotten their asses rang up for 15 days since the Alabama loss. Kelvin is going to win the war, and
100% of the time.
yeah, I would put my money there if I were you.
I will break you.
Yeah. So
He will.
here we go. They were just jawing at each other to get the tech. Didn't seem that bad, honestly. That's Mario, all his photos. You'll see them over the next few weeks.
We're just arguing about taxes.
Yeah, watching the court be dismantled. Only here you can get that kind of content.
I'm glad you know, brother. I'm glad you know.
Yeah.
Go fucking Cougs.
Tap in, as Galen would say.
Absolutely. Tap it in.
Hey, T.I., it's Star Pizza.
Star
So-
lasagna.
The last game, Mike Pittman from Star Pizza brought pizza for Andy and me, and we ate it. And then after the game, Andy waited for me. His show ended before ours. Waited for me and was like, "I need you to bring something to Mike Pittman." I'm like, okay, what is it? It's the delivery bag. They bring pizzas in. You know,
Yeah.
they left it with us.
Ooh.
And I was like, okay. And I kind of forgot about it. And I got in my car this morning to come to U of H, and all I smell is pizza. My entire car is infiltrated with pizza, Star Pizza.
Yeah,
So,
that's
Mike,
bad.
I have your bag. I'm going to bring it. But maybe they'll let me deliver some. I don't know what you make for that, but I'm going to go get... gonna go make that happen. And
It's nice cologne you got there.
thank you. Thank you. And thank you for the kind words. Mario is, I have said it many times, the MVP of GoCoogs. All of our content comes to life because of the photos that he provides us.
Truth.
And
Oh,
Mario, absolutely. Mario came to me when we were starting this site and said, "Hey, do you need photos?" And I was like, "I guess I do." I don't know. Yeah, probably. And he started off taking photos in the stands at TDECU because we couldn't get a press pass. And eventually, it's like he got nuked. He went from talent to wow. Like legit, I have had numerous journalists say to me, that is talent that should be at a major publication. Just, he is so good and so talented, and he does so many different things. It's not just this. He does quite a bit. So I appreciate him so much. Gonna try the Katy location tomorrow for Star Pizza. What's the one recommendation from each of y'all? I go with the Maryland. Onions, pepperoni, and Canadian bacon. That's my thing. Those are 3 perfect pizza toppings. I get it with extra sauce. I like a little extra sauce than what they're going to normally give you. Galen is white bread and likes pepperoni.
Standard. I'm a standard guy.
Standard.
I'm a regular guy living a regular life, except I'm a Lamborghini if it's racing a bike.
I'm going to have to go do the math on
John
that.
Legend with the car.
Oh, that's Mac Miller, actually. But yeah, I'll take the Johnny.
I usually get the
Whatever they have.
He's not wrong.
That's fucked up.
But
But
if
I
it's
saw
my
it coming, though, man.
my
I saw
choices
it coming
are
from a mile away. Oh,
Sausage.
shit.
sausage pepperoni with extra cheese on wheat crust. But then this year I
healthy
tried
decision.
Chef special for the first time, and God dang, that's phenomenal. So yeah, Chef Special gets a huge thumbs up.
That's a non-traditional pizza with a lot of things on it that you just wouldn't expect. I think we have a photo of it. Maybe we don't.
You should.
Yeah, who knows? Is this it? This is it.
That's it.
That's crazy.
I think that's cream cheese and I don't even know.
Looking like flowers.
It's a lot of things that
Sausage. I think it's got sausage, pepperoni, and cup and char, and then it's got hot honey on it.
Yep.
Phenomenal. Crust
Maybe
is
Mario.
fantastic.
Maybe Mario can produce your shows. Wheat crust. Why?
Texture. It adds
That
it
does-
adds a little bit of a different texture to it. It's not a sometimes it gets with all the because I get extra cheese. So with the regular crust, sometimes it gets kind of a little doughy type feel to it. So then I get the wheat crust.
Extra cheese.
Phenomenal.
You know, I have a theory about your health problems.
Oh, I know why they happen.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't get to
And,
eat it that much, so I have to talk about it now.
Shout out to this basketball team. Finally beat a team from Alabama.
Good point.
Well played.
Took you a while, but
Well
you figured
played.
it out. So, all right. Win by 20. Got 8 days to get ready for Toledo. And then whoever the hell they play the game after that, I don't even know. Maybe A&M Corpus Christi.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you go to Stillwater on the 30th. My first trip there for basketball. Kind of looking forward to it. It's a weird arena.
Get
Very
you some
much so.
galoshes and go to Stillwater.
Yeah. So we're going to do that. All right. Thank y'all so much. This was a great show. Appreciate y'all. A lot of good football stuff. A lot of good basketball stuff. And, of course, your boy right there. Wait.
You feel me?
Yep. Wait. Let's try that again, Galen. We gotta be smart about this. Gotta put the logos up. There we go.
Oh, yeah. That's great
Two
balance.
fisting.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Got now.
All right. Thank y'all so much. We're gonna do this again very soon, but not that soon. Take a few days and sleep. So GoCoogs.com. Check it out. OneSubstantial.com. New stuff coming
On the way.
soon.
Eerily soon. Eerily soon.
Eerily.